Alright, everyone, it's me, your man, Uncle D, shooting from soccernumber10.com. Strategical room, or the stratagem room, for those of you guys who are really knowing what's going on. Okay, it's been a long time since I've actually touched base with you. Notice my deep voice, bass. Okay, first of all, I've already predicted accurately many things that will happen in this World Cup. First of all, I told you guys that Neymar would disappoint us. Well, he did, as predicted in the video that you will see a description below. However, this video is just quite simple. What's happening in this video, we are going to talk about Argentina versus GM, right? Now, not GW, but it's the GM. Now, Germany. Now, what's going to happen in this strategic, in their tactics and strategy today? There will be many tactics in this game, and I want you to understand that even though I had said that a Chile Germany final would be very interested, and it's kind of similar, but I want to share with you some things that will happen in this game, and some things that Argentina needs to do in order to win this game. You see, after playing this game out mentally, I saw Germany had a 2.5% chance of winning, Argentina 2.3% chance of beating Germany. Yeah, beating Germany. Yeah, with a capital B. With a capital B. Remember when I said if the final went to a Chile versus Germany, Chile would outrun and destroy Germany? All right, you're gonna say, then how come Chile never beat Holland? Well, let's talk real quick. Now, first of all, let's look at what happened with Chile versus Holland. Let's put HOL. Now, what happened was the Chiles are short guys, right? The Holland and fast, right? In other words, when you're playing a team that consists of giants, many of your coaches will never teach you this. When you're playing a team that consists of giants like Germany and Holland, your guys are like dwarfs. You become a dwarf. Remember, Gulliver was captured by short people, and he was a giant. Remember, David slew Goliath, the giant, a short person. So when you're a dwarf, you tend to use speed, coordination, and unity to capture a giant, right? To capture a giant, right? When you are a dwarf. Now, what I'm basically driving at is, for Chile, in their game versus Holland, in the second half, Chile got surprised. Chile got surprised by the mere fact that the Hollander coach took everyone off. Second half. This is the second half. Many of you never noticed this. Holland coach strategy went into the factor of height. Height. Every player that came on in the second half was at least 6'1", while the Chilean guys was in their 5, let's say 5 to 5.7, right? 5 to 5.7 in height, right? So the second half, Chile came thinking that they're gonna turn up the heat with their coordination and everything, and what they got was they were playing against giants, and it surprised them. They weren't able to do what they wanted to do, so they lost this game to Holland. Chile lost that game to Holland, not only based on strategies, but based upon height. And we saw where Chile had some great tactics going on in the game. Let's move quickly because we're talking about Argentina versus Germany. But I want to build this comparison and contrasting of these two teams. Now, Chile had great. Sorry, my pen tool got messed up right there. Chile has great triangles, as we saw, and these triangles gave Holland some trouble. Ball flow, let's put flow. It was beautiful up and down the field. You know, you had 1 and 2 guys slowing down the game, like Sanchez, that number 7. slowing down the game in this half. We saw where the ball flow for Chile was along the wings, and the Giants stopped Sanchez each time, but the referee never used this card, right? Now, when you're playing against Giants and you are shorter, let me show you what's going on. This is you, right? This is the Chilean guys. This would be the Hollander guys. I'm just drawing a little sketch, guys. Just bear with me. This is these guys' shoulder. Let's say this is Sanchez, and can be number 7 or another 8 from Holland. And this is these guys. So once the short guy stand up against the tall guy, and the tall guy even touched this guy and he falls, the referee will say, well, it's not so fair, and the tall guy probably barely touched the short guy and he just fall, trying to trick me based upon height factor. But however, when you're playing against Giant and you're shorter, you need to use all the concepts of being a dwarf. Because what will happen is you will sell an image that the taller guy is the aggressor. Now, Argentina understand this. Argentina had something that Chile didn't have. Chile had a great defense. Chile didn't have some guys at the forward line. They only had Sanchez doing all the work. Let me show you real quickly. Chile only had Sanchez playing a great role in these areas. Now, the difference with Argentina is that Argentina will have a group of guys hungry in this area. And if their number 7 is playing, he can help to give Argentina a chance of victory. Now, guys, I'm not going to say anything bad about Germany, because Germany, is a part of my pick, strong pick to be finals. As I said, Chile, Germany final, or one of these African teams might pull through, which they never did. Some they just played sloppy. I expected Guyana to be up in there also, but as I said, if they get too cocky and confident in the video, they can be knocked out. Now, this is what Germany is going to do. GM is going to try to do to Argentina, but it's going to fail. They're going to use height, and they're going to stretch the ball game on the wings, right? They're going to stretch the ball game as usual on the wings. They're going to use the wings. They're going to be afraid to come through Argentina's defensive wall. Now, Argentina counterattack can be very strong. Let's say CA for counterattack, right, guys? Not California. Now, Argentina counterattack will be very strong. Now, this is what Germany's going to do. Germany's going to pull them all the way down here, right? And you're going to say, why? And Germany might square across, but most of this strategies and tactics that I'm disclosing on this wing will be mostly on the right wing, because what's happening is Germany's going to try to get as much corners as they can. Why? Because when you put the Giants against the dwarfs again, remember I gave you a silhouette of dwarfs. These are Argentinian guys, right? Not all Argentina guys are short, because I know the Argentina coach is not going to fall for that crap anymore. Now, what's going to happen is they're going to try to penetrate on this wing, right? A typical German style, to get as much corners where you have Colts and these guys just stay here. Now, Argentina will try to, create a wall facing this attack so that these guys don't buck the ball in across here, right? And score. Typical German strategy, or the basic German tactics that many soccer coaches, I just don't get it, why they can't see these things. I know you might say, oh, it's easy for you to say, but on the soccer field it's totally different. It's not totally different. It's just the same thing over and over. Every year, Germany will come to the finals, and sometimes they throw the game. They get too cocky, confident, and players just, get smart. Germany will come into these areas, right, and push the ball back out to a target man right here. Let's put this target man with a triangle, right? And he's going to play right here, and he's going to be just taking a shot. Typical German strategy. Or lay the ball right off here, lay it back out. Typical German strategy. You're going to just see these strategies all day in this game. Now, if Argentina fails to watch this, they're going to get a high. They're going to get a really beaten real bad. And the target man just coming down on these areas and score. So let me let you see this real quick. What I'm saying is the Germans are just going to be afraid. They're going to try to come through the middle, right? But the Argentinians they're just going to try to come through the middle. But Argentina is going to put up this block, right? So they're going to spread the wide and come down the wings and hope to get as much corners as they can so that they can head them in, right? As much corners as they can so they can target these areas and score again. Now, you're going to see typical ball game. Once the Germans get in, they're going to pull the ball back out. Pull the ball back out. They're just going to put the ball back out here to the 18-yard box where someone comes and pick it up. Because all these defenders will be down in the 18-yard box. And the Germans can use their powerful distance shots to take shots of goal. Now, how to beat Germany, Argentina. 101. The Germans can get tired easily. Their 3-3 formation at the back is not so strong. It looks strong. So Argentina has a good defensive role of locking down this to prevent the team from squaring the ball back or placing the ball back to cool off the tension. I noticed Argentina had this thing that Chile never had, and it's just a typical Argentinian tactics. Someone stay in these areas to prevent the replay back, so that to rebuild the game over. If you mean let's say Argentina had more defenders or more players in this half. Let's say Argentina had about 8 defenders in this half, right, and a few up here, right? What happens is Germans can't see a tactics, can't see anything for a set play. So the Germans will send the ball all the way back home to restart it, so that most of these guys come over the half. For guys who are not noticing this happening in the games, come back over the half, and then you have less defenders. So the Germans pull the ball over. Now, Germans are not known to be players to stand on the ball. Sometimes they can try to stand, meaning they hold their position and shield the shorter guy and let the shorter guy fall. Now, the Argentinians are quick. If they're very quick and fast, and they are, players who have some things that Chile never had, some weaknesses. Now, Argentina got where they got, not just by luck, but just by playing it safe and, just doing what they do, right? Now, here we're going to have some real tactics in this game. Only one man stands in the way of Germany and the cup, and it's Messi. Now, Messi has not been performing since, the last 2010 World Cup. However, I saw a glare in the man's eyes actually after they went to the finals, and I can say to myself, will this bring us a new Messi? Will this whole aura, now you're in the finals, right? Will Messi rise to the occasion? Will Messi put all his childhood dreams, all his life's hope on the table and give us a game that we have never seen before? Or will Messi just play it safe and shrink under the pressure of Germany, the German tacticians? Now, if Messi wants to win this game, if Argentina as a collective team, not just like Brazil with a one-man center build, if Messi wants to win this team, Messi needs to be on the ball, carrying the ball, and distributing the ball, doing his things, doing the things that he knows. Because the Germans, then he has his support to set the short, tight passes for his team, that the Germans, because they're tall, yes, they're fast, they will have problem breaking up. If Messi keeps the ball and drag as much foul as he can, get into areas like this where they can take free kicks, they stand a chance of creating opportunities against Germany. You see, if you restrict the Giants from the wings and from square back the ball into these areas, Argentina stands a chance of beating them. And if Argentina manages to get in these areas real quick and do their 1-2 touches and pull these Germans out, they can win. If Messi motivates the team and get them into this whole let's leave everything on the floor type of mentality, these guys, and they play at least 110%, Argentina can pull through. Now, the tacticians will not allow this. They're going to try everything to stop all the little small bounces and the little space. So, you see, when Argentina is playing against these giants, they need to use small spaces. Let the giants come to them and leave their spaces, and then they just run them to the ground. Muller, as usual, he's going to do his regular dive, hope to get the referees to give up. Now, Argentina knows already that the Germany's goalkeeper, is tall. So all the balls should be on the ground, which we will expect. No ball should be across. No corner should be across into the air unless it's out to these areas. Now, for you guys who are not seeing what I'm saying, let me really move this quick. Many teams always do the opposite. Make sure it's coming out to these areas. Not across the goal like this. The keeper is tall. The defenders are tall. Remember what we said about the silhouette. The silhouette are, the giants. These guys are the giants. And this will be Argentina. All right, bear with that pen tool, guys. And this is Germany. So if you keep the ball in the air across, tall goalkeeper about 6'1" or higher, versus some guys in their 5s. 5'1", 2. Now remember, guys, your speed, your height is your weapon, and guys, your shortness is your weapon. Remember Diego Maradona, how he used it. So now it's your time to use it. Remember, square the ball out, not this one. Do not do this one, Argentina. I know you guys know. Or a typical set play again. Have your little target man here. You pass it to him. Then the lines start to run out. Then the Germans start to run out with their lines. And you pass the ball to this guy. And while you come try to catch the line, some guys will be coming to him who has the ball as usual. You tap it to him and hope that you're not, the linesman does not give you the half side trap. And you try to make yourself go back into the box. Do not just try to send it back out here unless you have a target man half here and these points ready to take a shot. But you see what's going to happen, he's going to shoot the ball into the air. So you're going to try to restrict that. So your job, if you are this player, hold the ball and go a little bit further and just keep the ball and try to get in. I know it's so crazy. And square it back out to someone or some guys over on these sides. And that's just simple. Now, Messi can do his thing in this game, but do not just believe in wishful thinking that Germany is just going to let these guys do their thing. However, as I said, Argentina can win this game. When I played the game out and I saw it, I said, wow, this is exactly like the Chileans. The Argentina morphed into Chile. But the only things Argentina does not have is the really fast movement. But their counterattack is similar to that of the Chileans. And yeah, Argentina as usual, back in the days, my team. And I see where they can come and snag this from Germany. They can snag this from Germany if Germans get cocky and play atrocious ball game. Pressure sometimes can make teams do some stupid things. Now, there's some things that I want to talk with you guys about, and it's about Neymar. A few people have been asking me, what do you think? Do I think Neymar got real injured? Yeah. Well, yes, I'm not going to just say a player can't get injured on the field, but I've been injured. I've been kneed in my back also. And by a big player, and he kneed me real good in the center. And yes, it was painful, but I fell down, and after I went off the bench, to the bench, to the lines actually, and lie for a while. Yeah, the pain was there, and then a couple of minutes after it's gone, I never went to a doctor, but well, as I said, some players are not really number 10. You see, at number 10, you would have to be there even if he was in the wheelchair at the sideline watching his team get in defeat, because he can't stand the fact of himself being in the hospital in a bed, watching it from the TV, his team getting demoralized. My presence alone would be important. Now, not saying anything about this young man, but as I said, in my video, he's going to just let us down. So, you see, you don't understand what happened, guys. When you think about Brazil, you think about Ronaldinho, R10, you think about Pele, you think about Garrincha, you think about Zico, you think about Socrates, and you think about all these guys. And when you hear Germany giving Brazil 7-1, you say, wow, what happened? Kaká and Robinho, what happened? The gods of soccer. It's not that. Don't blame these guys. Blame the staff. Blame the coaching staff for what they have done. When you have a player like Fred, being selected over Ronaldinho, over other big player, Robinho. Well, unless these coaching guys say, well, we're going to start to do something totally different. But if you have not noticed what's happening since 82, ever since, I think it's 1982 to 2000, the Romario era, Brazil has not been using a playmaker as their key. A playmaker, a creator, a visionary like Diego Maradona, Ronaldinho, Socrates, a playmaker. So what they're doing now in Brazil, in BRA, they're using this marketing strategies. Not about the game anymore, guys. It's about marketing for corporations, COs. You see, on these guys' jerseys, you might see the Nike tick. On Germany jerseys, you see Adidas. So when these two teams face off, and the big corporations go to final, be it to Adidas, well, Adidas know that, wow, we won, right? And when two Nikes go to finals, these guys say, wow, we won. You guys might not pay attention to these things, but these are some things going on in the background. It's basically set up for marketing. It's not just set up anymore for the tactics and the flow of the game. Notice, back in the days, Brazil, always had a winger faster than lightning. The winger was always so fast that you'd be like, oh my God. The midfield was always locked. The defensive line was so solid that nothing passed. Well, in other words, what we're seeing now is, Brazil is trying to give the young players a break, and that's true. I'm not gonna hit out against that, but you don't play home court ball game with rookies, right? You're defending your home court. You're defending the pride, your turf. You find your best. You don't just go out there with players who wishful thinking to win a warfare. For those of you guys who know anything about Sun Tzu, the art of war, and many of you guys know I have a little military background, you don't put rookies out there who have never been trained for the job. You see, if the only person that had experience was the goalkeeper, no one else to hold it, the midfield, to create, to orchestrate. As I said in my video, if Brazil goes again to the World Cup without a player, for example, like Ronaldinho or Kaká or someone with experience, or Ronaldinho, sorry, what will happen is you're just sending these guys out for the slaughter, and they're gonna disappoint you. You see, Neymar is just gonna fall each time someone bounce him or touch him. He's gonna fall. He does not have all the full character of the number 10 yet. The number 10 is not just about flicking the ball and chipping the ball. The number 10 is more than that. His presence is the whole honors roll thing, the whole honor roll, the whole bragging rights thing, the whole defending the turf thing. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying. For you guys who are out there back in the streets, yeah, you say you've been watching my videos, so I have to put in a few linguas here. Brazil is not playing the ball game we know them to do, so you are wondering what's happening. First of all, Neymar, he couldn't play Germany's match, but he could come and watch the third round. Come on. Don't that smells funny? The whole media showing the person going to the hospital, lying in the bed, and poor Neymar, he's so injured, and oh my God. Rodriguez would not have fallen. James would have held it up. But they got robbed. Yeah, Brazil should have just conceded and let Colombia go through and give Germany a run for their money. But, the refs, poor guy, James, he was just crying, man. And I understand. James, come on. You're a great player. I understand. That's how it works in these things. It's just corporations. After this, guys, I tell you, after this, after all the World Cup is over, it's war, man. And you can see these things going on in the Middle East right now. While we're watching the World Cup on TV, these guys are planning the war. You might be saying, how I know this, man? How do you know this? Well, watch the video. La, I hope I spelled it right. La. When you see Shakira and you see that little black guy, that the man riding the horse with a polo stick hitting the ball, that's the angel of death, man. And you see them with the guys with all the drums on this thing with different flags while he's on this wheel thing sitting down. Those drums are oil drums, man. They'll be fighting over more oil. And I know it sounds crazy, right? I know it doesn't make sense to you. But you see in videos, these guys tell you some of their plan. These guys tell you what their plans are, man. These guys tell you what their plans are. Now don't get fall into these corporation garbage. That's all I'm saying. I know they're mad at me for saying all this stuff, but who cares? I'd rather be Elijah on Mount Carmel or David versus Goliath than just watching the youth being robbed and be manipulated and all these crazy stuff. Well, hey guys, this is what I got, man. And I'm saying Germany, yes, Germany has, as I said, Germany will win this game, but Argentina can put up a fight. Germany has this, and about that, yeah. And Argentina has this chance of winning. If Messi rises to the occasion, Messi can just, and he rises to the occasion, he can make this at least a 2.5 chance of each person winning. And if his team rise with him and support him to do everything, Messi can rise the game to at least a 2.6 and snag it from Germany. Yeah, percent. And the Germans can be too cocky, and they always lose in the finals. They are known to lose in the finals, guys. Pressure, and I would want to see a good game. That's all I'm saying. And guys, wow, it's crazy, to see those kids getting killed in Palestine and Russia and all these other wars starting. Just be safe, guys, and love your families, and just do the right thing. Watch what you eat, and read some of those labels and check them out. Right, just check out some of those labels that you're on the back of those foods that you're eating, you know. It's really dangerous. And overall, it's me, your man, Uncle D from soccer10.com. And love you. Take care. And for those thugs on the street, remember the golden rule: no candies for the kids. Stay out of trouble and say no to drugs.